designs, you're gonna see me reading from my computer a lot because there's so many little details that I wanted to know when I first started. So if you see me reading from my computer, it's just, I feel like all of this is very important starting out in the design field. So I'm contracted by Homesite Services as a designer to meet new home buyers to show what is included with the home, or with their home, and the available options to get. We go over builder options that include electrical, high volt and low volts, plumbing fixtures, stairs, cabinets, interior paint, built-ins, etc. And then we have the fun, creative appointment, the flooring encounters, which is everything you see in here. We work with so many different builders. Each builder does offer different items with vendors. There might be exclusive, as in one person goes with Daltile, Emser, and it's extremely important to know too when if you're working with multiple builders like I do. I work with I used to work with CalAtlantic, that switched to Lennar, Deere Horton, CalAtlantic. It's extremely important to know what is their standards, what is their upgrade, their available options to upgrade.
And what standard means is what the home comes with. The home comes with materials that are standard with the builder, and then we always need to know those things because if you make one little mistake with, let's say, like a shower hot mop,
Yes.
which I do many times, you have to make sure that it's being built with a fiberglass pan or prepped for tile. So if those mistakes are made in the beginning, then the installation process becomes much more complicated.
Yeah,
You have to
so
tear everything out.
Organization, paperwork management, calendar management. I know it's fun to design and use all the pretty items, but that's going to be your lifesaver, is making sure that you're reading everything provided to you by the client to make sure that the information you're communicating to the buyer is accurate, because those can be really costly mistakes if you miss, say, a hot mop
shower
upgrade.
floor. Which I think every designer has paid for a shower floor in this design studio because you're going to be working, we work with over 20 builders.
Yeah.
Some include the tile floor, so we tell our installers to prep for it. Oh,
Ahead of
just
time.
kidding, it's a fiberglass pan.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. And it gets, so having just that organization too, just being an independent contractor, you're your own business. You want to be extremely cautious. You're working with other people, and you pay for you pretty much pay for your costs.
Well, so what she's saying is because Homesite chooses to utilize independent contractors, she does own her own business. So what that means from my standpoint is each independent contractor, they do carry insurance, they have a business license, and if a mistake is made and it is a designer error, that means that the cost for rectifying a designer error is passed along to the designer.
Right.
I love them. They're my translators. So this process of the appointments is usually done within 2 appointments. You have your builder options, which is about 2 hours. Your flooring encounters, which is about 3 hours. Now, when you contact your home, we get a notification to contact this new home buyer. We come in. It's about 2 hours for builder options, just because it's extremely detailed. It's like, do you want to add an outlet in this area? Do you want to add a GFI, which is a waterproof outlet, in this bathroom for future bidet? Like, you are going with this buyer, and you need to give them as many options too, because a lot of people are not going to think, oh, I might want a bidet. Something as simple as that. Like, you need a waterproof outlet behind your toilet to have that in the future.
Yeah, forward thinking to help the buyers purchase items that they may not realize they're going to want down the road is going to be huge.
And then you have your flooring encounters, which is about 3 hours, which that's me being generous. Usually it's not 3 hours, or it could range up. I've spent 12 hours just with one buyer. And I don't do that anymore, but that's why time management too, being an independent contractor, is extremely important. You're directing the appointment. These buyers will take advantage of whatever time you have. So 3 hours, think of someone who doesn't know anything about design, or they're like, what's the difference between quartz and granite? And then you have quartzite, and then you have marble, which you wouldn't want to put in a kitchen. And you just have all of these like little speeches you want to give the buyer, but just make sure you're you're on track to get this buyer out feeling good too.
And the information you want to give to the buyers, you need to keep it simple and concise. The reason
Yeah.
is a lot of the buyers we're seeing right now, they're not second or third time home buyers, they're first time home buyers. And regardless of whenever you're buying a house, it's always a stressful experience, but even more so with these first time home buyers. So they try to retain all of this information that you're kind of throwing at them, and it gets overwhelming, they get frustrated. So we try to make sure that we've streamlined the process for them to make it as stress-free and enjoyable as possible.
That's why we have food and snacks too, because a lot of buyers get hangry. Like
Yeah.
after 3 hours, you're gonna notice a change, and this is not even them bringing kids in. If they bring kids, the kids are not the ones crying. Like it is terrible sometimes. We get yelled at, so we try to make it a stress-free environment, but it's very difficult on them. You know, they haven't experienced on just buying a home. They have so many people who are contacting them to get in, like their sales agent, kind of hounding them on deposits when it's all this money, and so they're already stressed. And when they come in here, they're learning everything new. They don't know what brand it is.
And they don't even know what the process is. So
Yeah.
for them, it could be really confusing. Well, my sales agent said I have to do everything right now, or my sales agent said this, or my sales agent said that. So we have to act not only as like a counselor to these buyers to let them know it's going to be okay. We're going to walk you through this process. You know, we're going to take care of you. Your house is going to be beautiful, but also making sure we hit those deadlines, collect those deposits, because we do have deadlines that we need to meet for the builder if the house is going to close on time.
Yeah, and that's another thing is cutoffs. You're working with, if you work with builders, if you decide to go in the builder industry, because there's so many routes you can go into design. You can just be an interior designer where you're with the home buyer and you're coming to us. I've met other designers who are personal designers to the home buyers. Just don't be annoying, please. Just work with us. Like we all want
We all want the same thing.
we all want the same thing at the end. Don't try to be better or anything. Yeah, because then the appointment that's supposed to be 3 hours can last 6 hours because I'm getting retaught stuff like.
Well, and sometimes people bring their family and other people with them, so it can make the process much longer. Or they don't bring their significant other with them, and then they come back the next day and say, I want to change everything.
Everything.
So those kinds of things we have to
4 hours.
explain to them prior to coming in.
Yeah.
You know, if there's somebody that wants to make important decisions
And-
on the home, to bring them with you.
And with the girls, part of what our expectation is, the reason, not only is it 3 or 4 hours just to make these selections, it's not, okay, I make these selections and we're done. It's, I make these selections, I have to put it into the computer system, I have to price it out, and then they have to do the diagrams. So every bathroom, every kitchen, all of that has to be diagrammed out, buyer has to sign it. I mean, that's another, hour or two on top of what the appointment time was. So, for the girls to have a buyer come in the next day and say, I want to change everything, it is a little disheartening. Part of the job, it happens, we totally understand. But just to set your guys' expectations before you go into the field.
Yeah, this job is all about being detailed. Like anything from grout. We get calls constantly on,